Most founders sound exactly like the competition. If you want to be competitive in a crowded market, you can't just be better, you have to be different. I'm your host, Cameron Olds.
And I'm Dallin Merrill, and we're here to talk about how you can avoid being mistaken for your competition, differentiate your brand, and ultimately create a lasting competitive advantage for yourself in the market.
Welcome to Differentiate or Die. This episode of Differentiate or Die is brought to you by MessageOS. And by brought to you by, we mean written by.
If your team describes your product 10 different ways, your product is no longer differentiated. It's confusing, and so are your customers.
MessageOS helps big teams keep every sales deck, social caption, and support reply on message and on brand.
Clear, consistent, differentiated. Every time someone talks about you.
See how it works at protagonistcomms.co.
Well, welcome back from paternity leave, Daryl.
Thank you. I needed that. Sorry, listeners. It has been a while. It has been a while.
How long has it been since we last recorded? Probably March.
Too long. Yes. No. 2 months?
I believe so.
It may have been. We did pre-record a few, so it probably hasn't been that long since
March 26th.
People have listened to us. Wow. Okay, so a month and a half.
I guess it's not been 2 months. I guess it's been a month and some change. But welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you.
Glad baby's doing good.
Yes.
Well, your family's had too much of your time, so now we get you back.
Agreed.
I have discovered a new product that is a favorite product of mine while you were gone. But before I reveal what said product is, I want to ask you if you're an iPhone user. Do you ever use the text-to-speech function feature like when you are texting?
No, but my mom does all the time.
And what is your experience with the quality of her texts as she does that?
Definitely subpar. However, I think she also edits them.
So she records them and then edits them.
Yeah. Probably sometimes she doesn't, but I've definitely seen it create some errors. It's better than I would have expected it to be, but she also has to speak pretty slowly and clearly for it to pick up exactly what she wants it to say.
Gotcha. Well, at least she has the wherewithal to edit her texts, but your mom's a smart lady, so it doesn't surprise me. But many people, including some of our clients over the years, don't do this when they're texting, and they just text with no thought into editing, and it's just stream of consciousness. But I digress. Have you ever heard of Wispr Flow?
No.
Have you ever heard of VoiceItt? I doubt you would have heard of VoiceItt. Maybe Brenda would have heard of it before.
No. So I'm assuming by your context that these are enhanced speech-to-text companies that take AI and build it into the text-to-speech to make sure that you're saying exactly what you mean to say.
You would be 100% correct. So, text-to-speech isn't new. It's been around forever. And I've used it, Siri uses it, and whatever AI assistant Android has or whatever. That's what you're using when you talk to Siri, you talk to Alexa, you talk to Google or whatever. It's just text-to-speech, right? Actually, well, I guess in those instances it's not 100% text-to-speech. But anytime you're dictating stuff through your voice, that's the text. So it's been around forever. I've used it for years. And recently, because I've been working a lot with AI, I happened upon a tool that people use called Wispr Flow. And it's one of those products that has no business being as good as it is because of how stupid simple it is. But it changed my life. So I'm going to show you Wispr Flow first, and then I'll show you VoiceItt, and we'll compare and contrast because this is going to be kind of a fun episode on a lot of different topics. So if you go to Wispr Flow, and Wispr spelled weird, it's W-I-S-P-R, not W-H-I-S-P-E-R. So just for
Okay.
anyone that's switching this. But if you go to whisperflow.ai, this is what you see. Don't type, just speak. The voice-to-text AI that turns speech into clear, polished writing in every app. Initial thoughts, Daryl Merrill.
Yeah, the every app part kind of speaks out to me.
How come? Like, give me more.
Just like, yeah, I mean, the beginning of our conversation sounded like most application would be specific to texting other people and making it better. So I'm really curious what it means by every app. Like, is this for, like, what other kinds of apps would this apply to? So that kind of piqued my interest. I don't know what it would mean, but I'm curious about it.
Well, let's scroll down. Here we go. The next header says, write faster in all of your apps on any device, seamless speech to text in every application on your phone or computer. And then the visual is a nice little animating train of all of our apps, like Instagram and Linear and Notion and Outlook and Teams and WhatsApp, and a little product demo of someone using the app and the waveform going up and down and them sending messages using their voice instead.
Yeah, I mean, that helps answer my question.
If you go down even further, you see 4 times faster than typing. Voice that finally works is here. Flow lets you create, code, message, and write at the speed of thought 4 times faster than your keyboard.
Wow. Do they mean like, yeah, they mean typing, like on my computer,
Yeah.
probably.
Yep.
Like not even like they're not even talking on my phone, which obviously takes longer. They're talking computer. That's wild.
Yep, both types. So there's a little visual here that shows, like, on the left-hand side, it's showing the words per minute that people can type on a keyboard, and, like, the text is just kind of going slow. And it's 45 words per minute is how fast the average person can type. With Flow, it goes to 220 words per minute. So a 4x increase in your ability to capture and write down your thoughts. Super cool. Super, super cool.
It's a great visual.
Yeah. Made for the way you work. Select one to see Flow in action. So this is just a bunch of different use cases. So for like accessibility, creators, leaders, sales. For sales, it says slow follow-ups mean lost deals. With Flow, you can follow up instantly after meetings, personalize outreach, and punch up your pitch without typing a word. So it's just a bunch of use cases of people, target audiences that they're going after. Did you have a thought?
Yeah, it's not related to differentiation at all. I just, going back to like when you had phones like this, you know, with actual buttons.
Yeah.
People always said you could type faster that way than you could with like a iPhone or whatever, because it's like one finger, you know, and it was annoying and harder with buttons. This kind of solves that problem.
It does, 100%. So this is the cool part. Next one. AI auto edits. Speak naturally and Flow transcribes and edits your voice instantly. Rambled thoughts become clear, perfectly formatted text without the filler words or typos. So this is what worked for me. When I tried it, I was like, oh, frick. It actually formats my stuff how I would format it. Because usually you do with the iPhone example, like it just spits out the words one after the other with no thought of, oh, this should be a list, or this is a proper noun, or this sentence should end with a question mark, or this sentence should end with an exclamation point. But like Wispr Flow does all of that. Like I remember the first time I used it, I was using it to like dictate a list in my head. And the minute I was done, like it auto formatted it into a bulleted list for me. It like detected that's what I was trying to do, and it did it for me. Which to me was such a send. It was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Can you go up to the top again? Don't type, just speak. Okay, go back down. Yeah, my thoughts are like, this is kind of what my mind first went to when I thought of this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When I thought of what you were explaining, this auto edits was one of the first benefits to AI getting included in something like this, was the auto edits.
Yeah.
I mean, if you scroll up a little bit, the second one was like it's faster.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we got it's faster, we got it's better because it edits things for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see if the top part kind of showed why that mattered to the to you specifically, right? Because that's kind of what we say at Protagonist is, your company isn't the hero, your customer's the hero. So how would Flow do that at the top? We would love to see that there, either problem language or hero language of how does this help me specifically.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think they do it terribly well up here at the top. But this is, okay, so this is a question I have for you. What is the question? I had it in my head. Never mind. I didn't have it. I had it for a split second and it left my head.
That's okay.
That's totally dumb. I totally will. It's going to come back to me in at some point in this episode. I guarantee it. But like what I honed in on after so I've used it for like a month now, and it's seriously like the coolest thing ever. Totally works for me. I hardly type at all now when I'm working. But the one thing that was that stuck out to me is the differentiator was the formatting, the fact that it formats really, really well for you. But they've decided to position themselves off of the faster angle. So you just, instead of typing, you can, it's just the use case. They're positioning themselves as an alternative to typing, which I think is a great position. That definitely works really, really well. Down towards the bottom, it just gives a bunch of different features. So you have a personal dictionary, so it automatically learns the unique words you add and all that stuff. For our instance, anytime I say protagonist now, it's a proper noun because it's the company. So it learned that. Snippet library, create voice shortcuts for the things your team says over and over. Cool, 100+ languages, all that stuff. So that's Wispr Flow's website. Let's see what they say on their digital channels.
I am curious, is it like a widget, Cameron?
No, it's an app you download on your device. So it's an app.
What
you
about
download
your computer?
App on your same thing on your computer.
Okay. And then so it doesn't follow you. So yeah, show me on LinkedIn. If you're trying to type something into LinkedIn, do you have to copy and paste?
Daryl Merrill. Hello, my name is Cameron, and I run Protagonist Communications. Pastes
Cool.
it for you. Yep. But totally
Cool.
great. And for those that aren't looking, I'm just in the search bar, I'm just using it as an example. But this is LinkedIn's. This is Wispr Flow's LinkedIn. It says smart voice to text that helps you work 4 times faster in any app with SOC 2 Type 2. So a bunch of different compliance features. So they didn't bring out the compliance features on their website, but the voice to text, great product description, tells me what it is, and then they do have what maybe the differentiating factor is in the 4 times faster. So I guess it is consistent to some degree.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely. I've never heard of it, so it's definitely differentiated. I don't know. Oh, sorry, I don't know if it's differentiated because we haven't looked at the other company we're going to look at. But it definitely could be a differentiated factor there. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So that is their LinkedIn account. Here is their X account. Smart voice to text that turns messy real-world speech into perfectly formatted text. Okay. I would say I would count that as consistent. I mean, they're presenting 2 different positions. It's the 4 times faster, and then it's the perfectly formatted. So that's interesting to me. I don't hate it because I feel like both of them and remains to be seen on it how differentiated they are, but like I feel like both of them are pretty decently differentiated from a product perspective. So like it doesn't bother me that they are kind of they ping pong back and forth between the two. But I don't know. Maybe you don't feel the same. It works for me.
Well,
it's great.
Yeah, I mean, here's my question for you. What would be the benefit to that? Are they doing it because X and LinkedIn are different platforms and they feel like one message works better on a specific platform? Or are they doing it so that they're testing it to see which message works better?
I mean, I would be impressed and shocked if they were actually that intentional about testing it. So, because in my experience, people don't test like that unless you're like pretty intense and serious about stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that question I think is valid. Then I think if they're doing this just because of no real reason, then I don't like it. I think if they're doing this intentionally to test it out or something, then yeah, sure, that's great. But I wish they were more consistent with, if you're gonna be unintentional, at the very least be consistent about it.
Yeah. So Wispr Flow's positioning does differ from channel to channel. Do you think that actually hurts their marketing?
Yes. I think when you sway away from consistency, good consistency, when you're sharing two different messages, you're confusing your audience. So by saying one thing on X, saying another thing on LinkedIn, even though those are both on their main website, so I think that's a win for them. I still think you want channel to channel the main message to be the exact same message, because you want to completely reinforce that message to those audiences. Unless you're really doing it intentionally and it's really like X is like completely different audience and you're really trying to get that audience, I could understand that. But if they're not trying to do that, no, just go with consistency, because if not, you're going to get hurt.
With Wispr Flow, we've seen that there are multiple positions that they could theoretically take in the market that are really great. The 4 times faster than typing position, super great. That totally could work. And then the perfectly formatted voice to text, that also really could work really, really well. Why do you think it's so hard for product marketers to pick one and stick with it consistently across channels?
Opinions, probably. There's probably 2 different people in charge of them, and one person thinks one is better and the other thinks the other message is better. It needs to come from probably top down or just your market research, one or the other. You gotta either do that market research to figure out what your customers think, or your CEO has to be like, hey, this is our message. This is what we need to stick with.
Indeed. Yeah, I think I agree. I think there are so many different viable market positions that a product could take, and it's a tough job that product marketers have in deciding which ones actually make it and are used. But I would agree with you when you say research it. Or if you have a CEO that actually cares that much and is in the weeds, 1, I'm sorry, because that's probably kind of annoying sometimes. But 2, also, that's great because the decision's made for you. Fantastic. All right, are you ready to see the competitor VoiceItt?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Okay, here we go. If you go to voiceit.com, it is spelled with 2 T's. This is what you find. Inclusive voice AI with impact. VoiceItt has developed speech recognition for non-standard speech, opening the world of voice technology for people with speech disabilities, aging adults, and accented speakers.
Whoa, that's crazy. This is a good job of differentiating by target audience, it feels like.
Isn't it great? Yeah, totally cool. Because it's obviously for people, I mean, they say it right here, which is so great. They explicitly say it. It's for people with speech disabilities, primarily, or aging adults, or people with accents. Freaking fantastic. Like, total target
Yeah.
audience differentiation.
Yeah.
100%.
That's awesome.
If we go down, it says make your voice products accessible through seamless customizable API integrations. Also different, maybe differentiation by product, because this looks like it's some type of like AI voice detection infrastructure instead of its own standalone app, which is super cool from a differentiated products perspective.
Yeah.
Like you could, I think even with this, like you could make the argument as well that the product is further differentiated because of, or not because of, the product is further differentiated by the needs of the target audience. You know, so like this isn't Wispr Flow where it's, you know, you and me who thankfully can just talk and have no difficulty talking and forming words that are like intelligible by everyone. This is people that struggle with that for some reason or another. And so the product itself would have to be different, don't you think, to account for the pain points of their differentiated target audience?
Oh yeah, definitely. This is great. I mean, they literally say it. They have got customizable training for it. So this is defensible, right? This is what's so cool about this right here is these are two similar products. They both do very similar things, but are so different in the way that they go about it, and they couldn't be mixed up. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's such a great example of differentiation actually working in the marketplace with like two products that are essentially the same thing. It's voice dictation. You know, it's the same product. It's the same underpinning technology. It's the same underpinning, what would you say, product value, but executed completely differently. But when I was looking at VoiceItt's stuff, their content, their messaging, I was wondering, how much does your target audience actually inform how you build your product?
I mean, this is a great example of it. Your target audience is sometimes might not as much. Sometimes it's just a change of messaging. I think you can totally do that sometimes, where it's like, okay, we're just gonna change up our marketing pretty much. But sometimes that's not. I would say most of the time that's not the case. And once you start changing target audience, for example, like female versus male, you're just gonna color the thing pink probably as well. I don't know. You know, like I just even small design things with the actual product, I think changes the product itself. So just I think generally it will end up changing the product as well.
Yeah, I think, it's kind of depends by case. I think ultimately, target audience, if you do differentiate yourself by target audience, that your product or that your target audience should inform the way the product's built. Because one of the things we like to do at Protagonist is try to help people stack competitive advantages, because there's 3 different ways you can differentiate your product to create that advantage. You can differentiate yourself through target audience, like we've been talking about, through product, or through sales channel. And, you know, one advantage by itself is great. 2 is even better. 3 is, you know, triple threat, and that's like perfectly defensible. But I almost think that like the quickest way to multiple advantages is through target audience. Like just start by really understanding, finding an underserved segment in the market, and then build a product for them, because you have built in the target audience, and then eventually through iteration you'll have a built-in product differentiation as well.
It's genius. It's so smart. And there's so many different ways you can do that.
Yeah. Another thing I thought you would appreciate, since I know that you are a Chrome extension aficionado, is VoiceItt for Chrome. So if you scroll down, it says words come alive. VoiceItt for Chrome is the first accessible speech-to-text input designed by and for people with non-standard speech. Because you were asking
Cool.
about that for Whisper. You were like, is it an app? Is it a Chrome extension?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. Any way to make it accessible, especially for people like this, I think is key.
Let's take a look at their Facebook. This is VoiceItt's Facebook. It says, VoiceItt's accessible voice technology helps people with disabilities live independently. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, great hero
Yeah.
language. Helping people
Yeah.
with disabilities live independently. It's great.
Yeah.
I feel like VoiceItt's accessible voice technology, while it's a tad more unclear than I would hope after the website, like I think it still works for me because I understand what it is. I think something more descriptive like text to speech would be probably better because I think that's what it is. Because accessible voice technology, like that could be Siri, you know? It's not necessarily text to speech, which like maybe they have that functionality. I don't know, but it seems like it's text to speech in Audit.
Yeah.
So maybe a little
Yeah, I agree.
whatever there. Here is their Instagram. VoiceItt is an ASR app for people with speech disabilities. What the frig is an ASR app? That's the first I've seen that.
ASR app.
Maybe that's a really specific niche thing. They're almost looking. Hopefully.
Yeah. Another sound recorder. So like MP3 wave. No need to put that there.
Yeah. Unless that's like something that's specifically used in the industry, which it could be. And we're outside.
I don't think no. It's not medical. Like that's just saying a voice recording app. That's all that's saying.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't like that at all.
This is their LinkedIn. Speech recognition accessible to everyone. Join us in building the next generation voice technology for people with a non-standard speech so they can communicate, be understood, and have a voice.
They're just not very consistent.
No,
I don't know.
They're not.
It feels like it's just grasping at like so many different people have a different view of what VoiceItt is, and they don't have one clear like, oh, here is what we are and how we help people, which is a little bit sad because they have such a big competitive advantage.
Yeah, I love the way you describe that. There's probably, and I've seen it. Like, I see it all the time. When you're in a startup mode and you have all of like the core people that are there, like they're usually really opinionated people because that's kind of what it takes to build a company. And so you have warring opinions. Dude, I sat through so many with one of our clients and so many meetings where it was just like the constant debate of like down to the freaking word in a sentence, which is good, you know, because I think that's ultimately like what we do. But the end result of that exercise should be consensus. And I think what we're seeing with VoiceItt is there's no consensus. And therefore, there's no main thrust, there's no main go-to-market message that everyone can pick up regardless of where they're interacting with the brand. Which, as you said, is a shame because, like, totally differentiated, completely and totally advantageous for them. Totally competitive.
I think if you are unclear on the way to do this, on which message works the best, that's fair. But if that's the case, you need to test it.
Yeah.
Right? You need to be like, okay, we have these different messages that we could take because this is a differentiated product. How do we do this? You test it, but not here. You don't test it on all of your different platforms or on 100 different billboards on the highway. That's not how you do it. You just make some ghost ads on LinkedIn and see which message gets the best clicks, the best response, and then go with that one.
Yeah, this stuff's tricky. It's super tricky. Positioning, messaging, differentiation, so tricky. And it's genuinely no one's, maybe it is someone's fault, but it's not like It's not like these decisions aren't obvious. If it was obvious, then everyone would do it. The right positioning, the right messaging, the right differentiation. It's not obvious, which is why it's a lot of work, and it's why so many people struggle with it, is because you have to do these tests and all that stuff. But let's pass judgment. I mean, between Wispr Flow and VoiceItt, like totally differentiated. Wispr Flow is differentiated by product. I think they even compared to VoiceItt, I think the product's different because it's focusing on speed and formatting, which is huge. Maybe that doesn't hold up compared to another product in the category. But VoiceItt, target audience and product all day long. 2 stars for them, 1 star for Wispr Flow.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember now. I wish I would have passed judgment earlier when we were looking at them. But definitely no consistency for VoiceItt. But yeah, we'll go with that. I'm in. I'm all in, Cameron. Thanks, guys. This was great. It was good to get back into it, even as I'm stumbling over my words here. If you guys need help, please hit us up at protagonistcomms.co, and we can make you more consistent, more clear, more differentiated. And on top of that, we'll even do some testing for you, like I kind of mentioned here. We now have some capabilities to test some different messages, and we'd love to try that out with you. So hit us up at protagonistcomms.co, and we'll help you out. See you there.